Have you ever found yourself losing your patience over something that, minutes later, you realized wasn't worth it? Or perhaps you reacted explosively to a provocation and later felt regret. Anger is a powerful emotion, but if we don't know how to control it, it can dominate us and even destroy important relationships. Today, we're going to talk about how to stay calm in the face of provocations and learn to respond wisely using Stoic principles that have been transforming lives for centuries. Hello, welcome. I'm Dr. Hugo, a specialist in human behavior and passionate about Stoic philosophy. Today, I want to share with you 8 practical ways to control anger and ensure no one steals your peace. Let's explore together how the wisdom of the ancient Stoics can help us face provocations with serenity and balance. So, get ready for a deep and transformative conversation. Before proceeding, leave the phrase, "I will have peace," in the comments as a reflection. Prepare yourself to embark on a transformative journey where we will learn to face each challenge with the serenity of a true Stoic. Lesson 1. Anger is a natural emotional response, but according to the Stoics, it arises mainly from frustrated expectations. When we expect something to happen a certain way and reality presents us with another, we feel we've lost control. Epictetus, one of the great masters of Stoicism, said, "It is not events that disturb us, but rather our interpretation of them." In other words, anger does not come from what happens, but from how we choose to react to what happens. Imagine someone provokes you in traffic, cuts in front of you, and even insults you. What's really at stake here? It's not the act itself, but the meaning you give to it. If you interpret it as a personal attack, the anger grows. But if you understand that the other person's attitude reflects more about them than about you, the anger loses its power. The first step to controlling anger is to change the way we interpret situations. Additionally, we need to recognize that anger is a transient emotion. It arises like a wave, grows rapidly, but also dissipates if we don't feed it. The Stoics teach us to observe anger as an external phenomenon, something that happens but doesn't need to define us. It's like a storm. It comes, but it also goes away. Finally, understanding anger is realizing that it rarely brings benefits. How many times have you made wise decisions while angry? Probably few or none. That's because anger blinds us, makes us act impulsively, and often leads to consequences that could be avoided. Controlling anger is, above all, an act of emotional intelligence. Lesson 2. When we're angry, the body reacts instantly. The heart races, breathing becomes short and shallow, and the muscles tense up. It's as if we're ready to fight or flee. At this moment, one of the most powerful tools to regain control is conscious breathing. The Stoics believed that to master emotions, one must first master the body. The technique is simple, but extremely effective. Inhale deeply through the nose, count to 4, hold the air for a few seconds, and then exhale slowly through the mouth, counting to 6. This breathing pattern helps slow down the heart rate and sends a signal to the brain that there is no immediate danger. It's like pressing the pause button before reacting. Moreover, conscious breathing gives us time to reflect. Often, anger makes us act in the heat of the moment without thinking about the consequences. But by focusing on the breath, we create a space between the stimulus, the provocation, and the response. This small interval is where our power of choice resides. The Stoics also practice the idea of returning to the present. When we breathe deeply, we bring our attention to the here and now. This helps us break out of the cycle of negative thoughts that fuel anger, like, "He shouldn't have done this to me," or "I won't let this slide." Finally, remember that breathing is an always available tool. No matter where you are or what you're facing, you can use it to calm down and regain control. It's a simple resource, but it can make all the difference in how you deal with provocations. Lesson 3. One of the biggest causes of anger is the tendency to take things personally. When someone provokes us, we often interpret it as a direct attack on our honor or dignity. But the Stoics teach us that, most of the time, others' actions have more to do with themselves than with us. Marcus Aurelius said, "When you are offended at any man's fault, turn to yourself and study your own failings." Imagine someone at work makes a sarcastic comment about you. The automatic reaction might be anger, but before responding, ask yourself, is this person having a bad day? Are they dealing with problems I am unaware of? Often people project their own frustrations onto others, and understanding this can help us not absorb these provocations. Additionally, the Stoics remind us that we cannot control others' actions, but we can control how we react to them. Epictetus said, "You cannot control the wind, but you can adjust the sails." Instead of allowing someone's words or actions to knock you off course, choose to interpret these situations neutrally. Another powerful practice is remembering that others' opinions do not define who you are. If someone criticizes you or tries to provoke you, it does not change your worth. Marcus Aurelius teaches us, be indifferent to what is not under your control. Another person's opinion is precisely that, something outside of your control. Finally, by not taking things personally, you preserve your emotional energy. Responding with anger is like throwing logs on a fire, while ignoring provocations is like extinguishing the fire due to lack of fuel. Choose peace, not because you are weak, but because you are strong enough not to be manipulated by others' emotions. Lesson 4. The Stoics were masters at using perspective to deal with intense emotions like anger. They believed that by broadening our view of a situation, we could reduce its importance and, consequently, the intensity of our emotional reactions. Marcus Aurelius, in his Meditations, often reflected on how the problems we face today will seem insignificant over time. When you feel angry, ask yourself, will this still matter in a week, a month, a year? Often, we realize that what irritates us in the moment is something small and fleeting. This simple shift in perspective can help reduce the emotional burden we place on a situation. Another way to apply perspective is to imagine how someone else would handle the same situation. Think of someone you admire, perhaps a calm and wise person. How would they react? This practice helps us step out of our emotional bubble and see things more rationally. The Stoics also encourage us to reflect on our mortality. It may seem like a grim thought, but it's actually liberating. When we remember that life is short and each moment is precious, it's easier to let go of small provocations. As Marcus Aurelius said, you could leave life right now. Let that determine what you do and say and think. Additionally, perspective helps us understand that not everything requires a response. Not every provocation deserves our attention. Sometimes, silence is the best response because it demonstrates that you are above the situation. Responding with anger is ceding control to the other. Responding calmly or not responding is reclaiming control for yourself. Finally, remember that perspective is a powerful tool for transforming conflicts into learning opportunities. Each time you choose to look at a situation more broadly, you strengthen your ability to handle future challenges. Lesson 5. The Stoics believe that self-knowledge is key to mastering emotions. Before reacting to a provocation, it's essential to observe what's happening within you. Why are you angry? What exactly triggered this emotion? Often, anger is not caused solely by the event itself, but by something deeper, like insecurities, expectations, or accumulated frustrations. Epictetus reminds us, examine your impressions. This means that before reacting, we should analyze our thoughts and emotions. When someone provokes us, anger arises because we interpret the situation in a specific way. Perhaps you think, this person is disrespecting me, or I can't let this slide. But are these thoughts true? Do they justify an explosive reaction? Self-observation also involves recognizing the physical signs of anger. Is your heart racing? Are your hands trembling? Is your breathing short? These signs are alerts that you're about to lose control. By identifying them, you can use techniques like conscious breathing or strategic silence to calm down before acting. Another aspect of self-observation is understanding your triggers. What situations or behaviors from people tend to irritate you? Perhaps it's disrespect, impatience, or injustice. Knowing your triggers allows you to better prepare to face them. As Seneca said, anger is like a flame. If you feed it, it grows. If you ignore it, it fades. Furthermore, self-observation helps us recognize patterns in our behavior. Do you often react explosively in specific situations? Are there people or environments that frequently trigger your anger? Identifying these patterns is the first step to breaking them and adopting more conscious responses. Lastly, remember that self-observation is a continuous practice. It's not about judging or criticizing yourself, but about knowing yourself better. The more you observe yourself, the easier it becomes to control your emotions and respond to provocations with calm and wisdom. Lesson 6. The Stoics teach us the importance of creating space between ourselves and our emotions, especially in moments of anger. This practice, known as emotional distancing, helps us see the situation more clearly and objectively, without being swept away by the emotional whirlwind. Marcus Aurelius said, "You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength." When someone provokes you, the immediate reaction is to feel that you need to respond in kind. But by practicing emotional distancing, you become an observer of the situation rather than an impulsive participant. Imagine you're watching yourself from the outside as if it were a scene in a movie. Ask yourself, if I were someone else watching this, how would I evaluate my reaction? A powerful technique to create this distance is to name your emotions. Instead of saying, "I'm angry," say, "I'm feeling anger." This small change in language helps separate you from the emotion, reminding you that it is temporary and does not define who you are. You are not the anger, you are someone experiencing anger. Another Stoic practice is remembering that emotions are like clouds in the sky. They come and go. When you feel anger, try not to identify with it. Instead of fueling it with thoughts like, "I can't believe he did this to me," observe it as a temporary phenomenon. Tell yourself, this emotion will pass, like all the others. Moreover, emotional distancing helps us avoid impulsive reactions. When you distance yourself from the emotion, you gain time to think before acting. This is crucial because impulsive reactions often lead to regret. As Seneca said, anger is like a poison you take hoping the other will suffer. Finally, remember that emotional distancing does not mean ignoring or repressing your emotions. On the contrary, it's about acknowledging them and dealing with them consciously and maturely. This skill is like a muscle. The more you practice it, the stronger it becomes. Lesson 7. The Stoics believed that the best way to handle adversities, including provocations and situations that arouse anger, is to mentally prepare for them before they happen. This practice is known as premeditatio malorum, or the meditation on evils. Marcus Aurelius, in his Reflections, wrote, "At daybreak say to yourself, I shall meet with the busybody, the ungrateful, the arrogant, deceitful, envious, unsocial." The idea is simple but powerful. At the start of the day, visualize the challenges you might face. Think about the people who might provoke you, the situations that might test your patience, and especially how you want to react to them. This practice isn't about expecting the worst, but about being emotionally prepared not to be caught off guard. Imagine you're heading to work and know a colleague often makes sarcastic comments. Instead of getting irritated when it happens, you're already mentally prepared. You might say to yourself, if he makes a comment today, I'll take a deep breath, smile, and not take it personally. This preparation reduces the intensity of the anger because you've already anticipated the situation and chosen how to react. Another aspect of mental preparation is remembering that provocations are inevitable. No matter how kind or balanced you are, there will always be people or situations that will test your patience. Accepting this as part of life helps us handle these situations more serenely. As Epictetus said, "Do not seek for things to happen as you wish, but wish for them as they are, and you will find peace." Moreover, mental preparation helps us develop resilience. Each time you face a provocation without losing control, you strengthen your ability to deal with future challenges. It's like emotional training. The more you practice, the stronger you become. Finally, remember that mental preparation isn't about creating a shield against the world, but about cultivating a calm and balanced mind capable of facing any situation with wisdom. When you prepare for adversities, you are taking control of your emotions and becoming the true master of yourself. I hope you found value in each of the Stoic techniques we discussed today. Stoic philosophy teaches us that true power lies not in controlling the world around us, but in controlling ourselves. Anger, like any other emotion, does not need to be our enemy. It can become an opportunity for us to grow, to know ourselves better, and to become stronger and more balanced individuals. Remember, anger is like a storm. At first, it seems overwhelming, but if you remain calm and don't react impulsively, it will inevitably pass. Each time you choose calmness over anger, you are taking a step toward emotional freedom. As the Stoics teach us, true freedom is being the master of yourself and not a slave to your own emotions. I want to invite you to share this content if you believe it can help others better manage their emotions. Let's spread these valuable Stoic ideas together. Additionally, leave a comment with your thoughts on the techniques we discussed today. Which one do you already use? Which one do you plan to start practicing? I'd love to hear your experiences. And of course, if you haven't subscribed to the channel yet, take the opportunity to do so now. Here, we talk about philosophy, human behavior, and how to apply these teachings in your life to achieve more balance and happiness. Activate the bell so you don't miss any videos and join this community of people seeking self-knowledge and wisdom. Thank you so much for watching. Remember, you are stronger than you think, and your ability to control your emotions is the first step to a fuller life. See you in the next video. Until then.